This is the Be the Solution podcast, and I'm your host, Maria Quattrone. And today I'm excited to have my friend, Stacie Koroly. Stacie is a 4 times icon agent with eXp Realty. She's a top selling realtor with 24 years in the industry. She manages and owns 2 offices in Delaware and Chester counties in Pennsylvania and has partnered with 99 agents in 7 states across the country. She works the active adult market in the real estate industry and has that's been her focus over the last 20 years. Welcome, Stacie. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. How you doing?
Fantastic, Stacie. We're going to get right to it this morning. I'm
I'm
gonna make a
excited.
comment. Ready? Work.
So listen to this. When you were saying those stats, a couple of things have changed. So 103 agents in 9 states, soon to be 105 by the end of next week. So things are moving along for you and me. It's good stuff. Good times, right? For us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to dive right into it today, and we'll be
Mhm.
talking about work, accountability, scheduling, all those things. So, Stacie, what do you think? First of all, let's identify what what is a successful agent? If somebody said, what from quantifiable, what does that mean? How many transactions? How much volume? What do you think that is? There
So
has to be a standard, right? We have to have something to say, this is what success looks like in real estate as
so
a as an average, as a starting point.
well, NAR's averages the average agent sells what six
Yeah,
homes
but
a year.
that's a bunch of bullshit
It
though.
is bullshit. Yeah.
Because who cares what the average does? What
Right.
would you say as a real estate professional for 24 years in this industry and a leader? And don't tell me success is different for everybody. I don't want that answer, that bullshit answer you're going to give me. I want to know what, if an agent, you would say, yeah, they're successful. He's successful. She's successful. Quantify it for me with numbers. What do you think a minimum number of transactions is just for somebody to say they're successful in real estate?
I'd say 20 minimum. That's like your base for me. I think that's your base as an
Baseline?
individual agent. So no
So,
one's ever asked me that before. Yeah, I would say 20. I had a previous manager that said once you hit 36 sales, you need an assistant, which is a different conversation. But 36, you need an assistant, whether it's a virtual VA or whatever. But I would say 20. So the average is 6, which is mediocre at best. A
well,
successful
at
agent.
6, let's just say at 6, your average sales 300, you get 3 pickles for that. So you got 9,000 pickles divided by whatever your comp is. Let's just say you get 6,000 pickles. 6,000 times 6 is $36,000. Since I can do
So
math without a calculator, unlike 90% of the people I talk to. Do you know how to do math in your head, Stacie?
sometimes, Maria.
Oh
It
dear.
depends on what that math is.
Well, can you multiply commissions? You know what you're making?
Yes, every agent knows what their commission is going to be. Yes,
They
good
don't.
point.
They don't. I asked them and they don't
What?
know. They
I
don't
thought
know. They don't know how to do math in their head. They got to use the calculator.
all right. Well, I don't know what to say. I do.
Okay, okay. I'm going to keep us on track.
Yeah,
20 sides,
yeah.
20 transaction.
Minimum,
Okay,
minimum.
okay. I think I'll agree with you almost. I really think everybody should be doing 2 a month. How do you not do two a
Yeah,
month?
too. When
And
you break it down
actually,
per
if you
month.
actually really worked, like you treated this 50 hours a week, you hone your skills, you did the work, let's take out 6 weeks for vacation, training, adding up all the public holidays, and sickness, or taking care of family. Let's take 6 weeks out, right? How
Mm-hmm.
many weeks do we have left? We have 46 weeks left. I think you could do, now this is, look, somebody's going to probably come and shoot me saying this, but I think people can do one a week. Now, okay, you can't do one a week. A half of one a week would be 2, would be a minimum of 24.
So the better question that we are gonna talk about is the timing, the schedule, the time blocking.
Well, that's
What are
what
we
we're getting
doing
to.
with the 46
Because, go ahead.
with the 46 weeks that we have left to do those sales? What I found, and I think we both agreed on this before we jumped on, was what are agents doing with the time that they have? Whether it's a day, like how many hours of lead generation are they doing? What kind of training, podcast, coaching are they doing? That's the good stuff. So that leads to our 24 sales a year minimum. I said 20, you said 24. So what does that look like on a day-to-day average? And I love what you said, what you did yesterday from the shore. Listen, I want everyone to hear all the stuff that you did yesterday, because that is a fantastic day.
Yesterday?
Yeah, you said I interviewed 2 people for the
Yesterday, all
podcast. I
my
did.
trouble seems so.
I want to give agents a really good idea of what a productive day looks like. Exactly. And you
Yesterday,
nailed it.
I started my day at 7:30. I did podcast. After that, I did my huddle at 8:30. I got on the phone after that, talked to a past client and friend, more past client, repeat client investor. Talked to him for 40 minutes, and it was mainly, well, I'd say we spent 15 of it talking about politics. Just to
Nice.
say we don't agree.
Yeah.
And then we spent the other 15 minutes talking about the NAR settlement. Let's just say we don't agree on that either. He's still my friend, though.
Right.
Which means that, yes, I am mature and I don't have to hate the other side, whatever that other side is. We won't be talking about politics on Be the Solution, though.
That's right.
It's off limits. Can't talk about religion, though. I'm okay with that.
But your day, so you had 30 dials too.
30, no, I had 40 dials. No, 42. So most of it was in FUB except for these 4 calls because these people were in my phone forever. So 42 dials.
So agents, Maria's looking at her phone. Why? Because she has her data. She knows exactly how many phone calls she made.
Yeah, I could tell you.
Tracking it.
I'm tracking it. I'm tracking it. So if I pull up right now, I will pull it right up here. Calls. Yesterday. Let's do it. So we have, I got to add in the 4 people. So 43 dials. Talk to 19 people.
That's actually a great rate of return.
You know, people know my number, so some of the people pick up. So my talk time on FUB was 22 hours and 22 minutes plus, hold up, I will tell you.
FUB is follow-up boss. That's another tip. All the top teams and agents use
38 minutes, 38 minutes. Hold up, 4 minutes, 42. 47. And another call. That would bring me to an hour. So yesterday I did 3 hours and 20.
It's awesome.
2 minutes of talk time.
And here's what I want to do deep dive on for agents that may be struggling during our time right now. As we know, a lot of agents are leaving our industry, and rightfully so, because this is a skill set that has not been seen in years, if not decades, that's required in today's market. Follow Up Boss is an awesome platform to use for top agents and individuals. That's what you, Maria, are using. You're
Yeah.
also, and you're
KV
tracking.
Core is good. There's
I
a
have
bunch
KV
of
Core.
them that are good.
It is good. And it's the best. It's the one that you use. So agents put these blocks in their head like, well, I'll do it once I get a CRM. I need to have the best CRM. What does that look like? No, it's the one that you use. So you and I are very like-minded. For instance, we both have or had coaches. We're willing to do the work. We're tracking the work. I knew 2 years ago, that's when I sadly started tracking, and I would figure out 80 calls led to 20 conversations, led to 4 appointments, led to 1 sale. Now it's over 120 calls it's more work getting the same results, which I'm fine with. But I never would have known that if I didn't track it.
What do you think what is the average calls to appointments?
120 calls leads to maybe not even 80. The numbers are much higher, much more significant. Oh, the first number I remembered, it was 120 calls led to basically the same results. The end line, 1 sale. So it's a lot more work, which is fine. But we need to track it as well, so we know exactly what the math is, the numbers. I'm now a numbers person where I wasn't before. And that helps me because I know if I make a certain amount of calls in a day, this is how many sales I'm going to get. And most agents right now, I feel like, are stuck. They're fearful, they're scarce, and they're afraid of moving. Like some of them feel like they can't do anything. So they're not posting content, they're not making the calls, they're not doing the work, and they're sitting back almost paralyzed. And I know this because I've talked to agents that have said, what does your schedule look like? What does, time blocking, all that good stuff. And I think every agent needs to commit to 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, of lead generating. And some agents will say, well, I don't know that many people. Yes, you do, because you pick up your phone, you find out how many contacts you have. I have over 1,600. And it's literally, you're not asking for sales. You're not asking. You're just checking, touching base with them, seeing how they're doing, how their summer is going. And eventually the conversation goes back to you. But you have to make that connection without asking for anything. So I did want to talk about that.
Now more than ever, it's all about dealing with people's emotions, being empathetic, caring. I called people yesterday. I called somebody, and Leonoid, his name is. And I remember I had it. See, I make notes on everybody. So I know like the weddings, the funerals, the cancer, the heart failure, the rehab, the strokes. I mean, you name it. I can go down the list. I know all the stuff. The people, I try to get it out of them. So yesterday I called and I didn't even ask him about the property because we talked about that before. I just called him to say, because he came up on my little call list, and I said, how was the wedding in Tuscany? His daughter got married in Tuscany. They were there for 2 weeks. So I called to ask him about the wedding. And then he told me about the house, the duplex in Francisville. One unit's vacant, the other unit, he's evicting them. So
wow.
I said, well, have a great rest of summer. Well, I said, like, if you need anything, call me. But I said, enjoy the summer. I'll check in with you in the fall. If you need anything, he has my number. See, one of the things, Stacie, and I want to know if you do this. Let's share with everybody. The people that are in the database, they need to be able to do these 3 things with you: know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I send them videos and do you get my emails?
No.
You don't? Okay, I send videos and I take the video and turn it into text. So the other day I sent one. It's
Mm.
called Nobody Has It All Figured Out. And so many people email back. The other one I sent the couple days before that is oh my God. What the heck was it?
How do you do video in between? How do you do video to text?
Transcribe it. You run it through thescript.com.
That's a great tip, thescript.com.
Yeah, and you can run your videos through them, and then it gives you. I'm putting all my videos through it. Right now, we're up to page 115.
Watch this. I'm going to add this to my phone, thescript.com. Did you ever do the subjectline.com? That's another great one.
No. What's that one?
If you want to rate like this website, the subjectline.com, if you go on it, so you, Maria, are like, no one has it figured out, exclamation point, it'll rate it and say like, dang, you have a 95, 98, 100%. Like, yeah. So that is
That's awesome.
Really good. Yeah.
We're going to do it starting today. I'm messaging the team right now. It's called subjectline.com.
Yes. I love that.
Okay, so let's talk about schedule. So let me tell you what happened with the 3. That is a lot. I didn't realize I had that much. I did actually. That was a very productive day. You made mention of something, Stacie, and I want to further elaborate on it. You said agents, salespeople. Let's call them salespeople because they have a salesperson license. They should talk for a minimum of. They should do 2 hours a day of making calls.
Yes.
Let's not call it prospecting because people don't like that word. Lead generating, They don't like that word either. So making calls. Now, what do they do the rest of the day when they have no appointments?
So you could do a lot.
Because, see, I didn't have any scheduled appointments yesterday besides 2 podcasts and some other BS stuff I had to do. But the majority of the day, besides the 2 hours of podcast, was lead generation. If you don't have any appointments, there's nothing else to do but making phone calls.
That's right. And that's what Nick McLean, one of my coaches, that's what he has said. Russ Collio, who I've had for years, same thing. You are on the phone all day long. If you want to mix it up, if you want to mix it up, handwrite a letter, text someone, message someone on social media. But really, it's conversations. That's all it is. It's reconnecting. If you've done a shit job, then you jump back on the phone. Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in so long. How are you doing? That's it. Not like, do you know anyone that wants to buy or sell a house?
I never say that. I never say
that. Who do you know? Okay. No. How are you doing? How about that human connection that we've missed so long because of social media? And everybody has all the guts in the world on social media, right? But it's not the same. People don't act the same on social media as they would face to face or on the phone.
So yeah, we have to do that. Absolutely. So here's a tidbit. I don't know if you do this or not. So when I call, I leave a message. And then I send a text that says, I just left you a message. Please call me back. And when I leave the message, I said, I look forward to speaking with you. I say that in every message. I look forward to hearing from you.
I love that.
I look forward to hearing from you. Hi, Stacie. This is Maria Quattrone. Giving you a call. I don't say it depends on who I'm calling. So I may say calling about 123 Burke Street, or I might not say that. depending on the next step, because I don't leave the same message for everybody. I'm not a
Mhm.
robot.
Okay.
I'm not a robot. So I'll say, it's Maria from Remax. Please give me a call. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. The number is blah, 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 blah. And then I repeat it. And I hang up. Then I text at the same time. I'm on my computer. I'm texting. I say, I just left you a message. Please call me back. And then I leave the number because not everybody's going to respond to the phone.
Right.
So I do both. And then some people say you should email as well. I text and I phone. That's my system.
You probably do. You probably email once a week your entire sphere of influence with value and either
I
data.
email them a minimum of twice a week, the entire database. And
That's
then
another thing. So you're touching them phone, text, email. We didn't even touch on social media. You've already done email at least twice a week, which is awesome. And then do you
at
do
least
MailChimp or Constant Contact? Who do you work
MailChimp.
with? So here's another tidbit, agent. So I use MailChimp as well. We use that because it's the best company for if you do bulk mail, 100, 200,
Delivery.
1,000, 2,000. Those people are not going to go into spam. Where you have a company like BombBomb, after a certain amount of time, it does, and you don't know it. And you don't have that. I love MailChimp because you can see everything. I like the diagrams, the open rate, all that good stuff. But I do the MailChimp too. I love it. So,
Absolutely.
and it's not a lot
So
of money.
what else happens with the schedule? What else happens, Stacie? What do people need to do
They
today?
need, so if you don't have an appointment, you need to be on the phone. So grab a gallon of water, stand in a private room, no distractions. I notice I said stand. I didn't say sit. Stand. Can move around if you want, but it's all conversations, and it's how are you doing? You come from a place of service. You aren't asking for anything. The whole point is to connect with that person. They know what you do. Most of them know what you do, and if they don't, shame on you, because that means that you haven't talked to them in I don't even know. So you're on the phone the whole time. You have to do the hard work when nobody's watching. Um, it's it's hard. It's almost like losing weight, right? Or stopping alcohol for a while or forever. It's like, yeah, you have to do it. You know what you have to do, but you actually have to do the work, which I know you have said the work works for years and years and years, and you drilled that down. Let's talk about that some more. So that schedule, we're on the phone the whole time if we don't have an appointment. What else are we doing? You and I, well, I think you, in the morning, maybe 30, 45 minutes of training. And what does that look like? It could be listening to a podcast. It could be reading a book, like exactly what to say, which is what I just finished. That was an awesome book. Um,
You can read that book over and over again.
yeah, I need that for anything. I need that for reinforcement, including coaching and accountability. Um,
What
so
do you
yeah,
say to people? What do you say to agents who, want to complain?
I don't have time. I don't have time for that. Like, here's the okay. You want to throw a pity party? You have 5 seconds, maybe a minute tops, and then it's action. It's massive action. So I don't have time for excuses, for being a martyr, um, for like blaming everybody but yourself, because everything starts with yourself. So I got no time for that.
No time. I look at it and say, okay, what do I want to commit to? Some days I just will make calls all day, and until there's no more until it's 7 o'clock. yesterday, and I finished only because I was here at the beach. I finished at 5:30, and then I went to the beach. Believe it or not, cold. It was cold, cold,
Yeah.
chilly. It was chilly. I went to the beach for an hour and 15 minutes just to unwind. But usually I'll be making calls or I'll be doing something till 7 o'clock. I mean, people are like, that's crazy. I don't know. I guess
What do
you want to sell a couple hundred houses a year. That's what it takes.
what do you find like, hey, in between this timeline during the day is better than others for people actually picking up?
I think the best days for people picking up are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday
Oh,
morning.
I wasn't even
Tuesday,
thinking.
Wednesday, and Thursday are the best days.
Okay. Well, today's Thursday.
And the best times are either earlier or I like from 3 to 7. And then during like 12 to 2 is when sometimes I'll do, I'm responsible for like financials and marketing and things like that. So I have other things to do outside of just making calls. I wish I only had to just make calls.
Wouldn't that be nice?
But since I'm responsible for the financials of the company and the marketing and all the bills, I have that work to do as well. So it's not like I'm just selling real estate. I have other stuff. And I made the choice to be a top listing broker because one, I want to show other people what it's like to do it, what it takes to do it, and it's closest revenue producing activity that there is.
I like that you said, because now I'm learning, all right, 12 to 2, you're spending on surrounding the work. So it's the bill paying, it's those other things. And then your optimum time that you really like is the 3 to 7 timeline.
3 to 7.
But that's important because outside of calls, like we do have marketing, we do have other things that we have to tend to. So I just thought it was interesting what time you chose to do that.
I like that time. What about yourself?
I try and do it before 8 o'clock in the morning or after 5. So I don't go to 7. So I try and do that after hours. And it's hard. Like sometimes I get caught up in emails and responding to people.
So you're calling people at 7 a.m. to 8?
No, 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 no. So I'm training or listening to a podcast while I'm walking, that stuff, but then also looking at my bills, the marketing, posting on social media, which takes a long time. But it's necessary because we're marketers first, real estate agents second. So yeah, I like to talk to other agents and coaches. Like, how do you spend the day? What are you doing at this time? Everybody says something different, but at the end of the day, it's also the same results of lead generating. It's certain things. Like you talk to high level agents or leaders, and they're doing exactly what you had said during the day. There's certain things that are non-negotiables that they're knocking out of the ballpark. It may
So
be a different time, but all that shit's getting done.
yeah,
That excites
absolutely.
me.
And I think Stacey, you have to like be able to have some kind of a little bit of bending, right? So I usually like to be in the office in the morning and then appointments midday. However, when it's 100 degrees, 98 degrees out,
Right,
and I'm going into a house with no air conditioning, I'm making that appointment for the morning. I'm not going there in the afternoon. I
right.
am not leaving the office if I don't
Good,
have to.
good.
Right? So think about that. Like you you don't we don't live in like uh it's etched in stone. You can make a change. You can do
Right,
what works. So I decided, okay, I have to go to I'm going I get to go list 3 properties this morning. I'm meeting the client in the morning. The clients signing them with hard paper, sign, not DocuSign, because they didn't want a DocuSign. So I bring it with me.
right.
Most people
Always. Yeah,
most people DocuSign, but if not, I'm like, here's the paper. I hate doing the paperwork, but I'll
yeah,
do it. I'm just like, sign here, sign there. And then here's another thing. If you're getting it signed in person, please bring 2 copies. Otherwise, you don't have an executed listing contract. And you got to leave one with them. The other day, I brought it back. I brought 2 back. They're like, "What happened?" I
They
go,
didn't get
"I
one.
can tell you what happened. It was 100 degrees and 107 degrees in that house. I had sweat dripping down me.
Yeah.
People think this is glamorous. It ain't glamorous. I'm going to tell you again. There's no glamour involved."
Wait a minute. That is another show altogether where we go behind the scenes. Like, this is what the work looks like. This is not selling Manhattan or Shaw's of real estate or any of that crap. It is, here's what it looks like. And sometimes you fail and sometimes you don't get the listing. Sometimes this happens, or you don't have multiple offer situation. You don't get it. What does it look like? That's a,
What does it look like? Did you ever have to clean anybody's refrigerator out?
yes. I've picked up dead mice. I've cleaned a house. You name it, and so do you.
I remember early in my career, my neighbor across the hall from me, we lived in a condo. I went in there before closing and I'm like, "Liz, what is going on?" She's like, "Well, I'm still packing." I'm like, "Closing is in 2 hours."
Yeah, that's happened. That's happened to me twice.
This was I could tell you what year it was, probably 2005.
Mhm.
I haven't done it since 2005. I emptied an entire refrigerator. Oh, I threw everything in trash.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told her, I said, "I'm throwing it all out." I said, this should have been packed. This has to go,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah, so it's things like that that are not glamorous that, although we should, first of all, we should be making a coffee table book about this. Stories,
Oh,
pictures.
don't worry. Don't worry. It's coming, girl.
We are at our 32 minutes. I feel like I could talk to you forever about everything to do with the market and
Well,
behind the scenes.
Stacie, before we wrap it up, do you want to tell us in a couple minutes what you believe if you had somebody coming, they work somewhere else, they're 2 years in the business, and they're going to work side by side, you're the mentor, what are you telling them to do?
That's an awesome question. And I do have someone in mind who is not in our brokerage. And you know how you can see someone and you're like, they're going to get it. They're totally going to take off. But what I would say to that person who is newer is show me your calendar. What are your daily tasks? Are you documenting them? Because I don't care if you're 1 year or 25 years in the business, these are the little things that will help you become successful. You need to track your data, something that I never did, sadly, for at least 15 years in the business. I just woke up and I was like, wonder what's going to happen today. Now I know what's going to happen because I make it happen. I know the phone calls that I need to make, emails, messages, social media. But I would say you have to create some kind of schedule, calendar on your phone, and stick to it, knowing that you have blocks of time that you are going to go on appointments and show. So then that calendar shifts. But there are certain things that you have to do during the day, one of which is at least 5 calls. Start out simple, at least 5 calls, and then at least
Have
5.
conversations.
Some agents, like, it's hard I just want to set someone up to be like, let's start little if you're a newer agent, and then we're going to build. So you and I are different. We're a different animal, and we are way past the 5. But if someone's newer, let's start here and then every week add on to it. But my point is the schedule itself.
They might be starving by then.
Well, guess what? They're going to have more than 5, aren't they? If push comes to shove. If they
Here's
put
the
that.
thing. Here's the thing. I want to challenge. Okay.
Okay.
Any other business. I worked in advertising sales for 11 years before the 20 years in real estate. So 31
Right.
years in sales. Okay.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
We had to make calls. We had to do it. Like we had a sales job.
Right.
Why are we dancing around this?
The work that needs to
5
be done.
calls isn't going to do shit. And it's not. You know it. Why are we training people not like it's not going to work? Got to rip the Band-Aid off.
I do like the Band-Aid.
Look, I'm going to we don't have to agree, okay? We can still be friends. But if we continue to dance around this, they will not make it. They're not going to make it in 5 calls, not even 5 conversations, 5 calls. What are they doing the rest of the day? I can make 5 calls right now and call you back at 8:45 and told you I made my 5 calls. Now what?
I actually do have an answer for that. So some people may be really good at emails and writing down instead of having a phone conversation, whether it's anxiety, whatever. Yes, get over it. So they can also do letters to neighborhoods. They can look up expired FSBOs. They can
what are they going to
post on
look up
social
and
media.
do with them?
Oh,
They
well,
can
that's
look
a
them
whole
up, but
nother
what are
thing.
they going to do with them?
They're going to create, if they don't
Door
have it
knock?
already, a package to mail to them. And
Are they
then,
going to
yes,
door knock them?
they're going to have to show up. They're going to have to call. Yeah. Yeah. Door knock? I don't.
I think like we have to, I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm just mean, Maria.
Well, no, you're not mean. And I agree with you. Yes,
No, because I just know in my heart of hearts that unless people are talking to a minimum
Minimum.
of 10
Right.
conversations a day,
Okay.
minimum, it ain't gonna work. And they're gonna be starving and they should just go back to Walmart or Baskin Robbins or Anthropology or wherever, Comcast.
You said something real quick that reminded me of me back in the day in 07, 08. I had 5 to 6 jobs. And after going through that and becoming a teacher's aide, working at Trader Joe's, walking 6 to 8, I think it was 8 mini dachshunds. I've said this before. What else? Oh, Trader Joe's was awesome. 6 to midnight, real estate, starting basketball camps, girls leadership camp. I will never go back to that. So I will be on the phone. I am on the phone most of the day, knowing what I already went through, not going back to that ever again. But yeah, so for the newer agents, there is, and I'm leaving here, driving back home to our media office, working with agents, showing them exactly how to lead generate with scripts on the phone, in an email, what to say, and then also social media posts, direct messages, and video texts. So
All of the above.
outside of calling on the phone, like I'm not going to say ADD, but I like to mix it up. So I'll do calls for an hour, 2
absolutely.
hours. Yeah. So,
We
and
still
then
have to talk to, did you ever go to a closing without having talked to anybody?
no.
Mm-hmm. Let that sink. That people listen. Let that sink in. Have you ever been to a closing where it hadn't started with a conversation? Nope. So, it's all about conversations. We have to have them. Okay, Stacie. Before we wrap it up,
Maria.
2 quick questions for you. 1, guilty pleasure.
Yellowstone, binge Netflix shows.
Binge watching.
True Detective, flipping love True Detective. First season, last season.
Binging.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Second question. What are you most excited about for your future? What do you like? Oh man, I can't wait for this to happen. This is fucking awesome.
Puerto Rico with my family in Christmas time, in the holidays, bringing us all over. Yes, that's it.
Being with your family in Puerto Rico?
Yes.
Okay, that's fun. That's nice. What else? You, just you personally.
So
What are you
losing
most
weight,
excited about for Stacie and her future?
cutting all out alcohol altogether or pretty damn close to it. And then also getting back into fighting shape. Because right now I'm built like a spark plug. So got to work on that, my health. That's what I'm excited about.
So, do you have a date in mind?
Do I have a date for? I have different stages of where I want to be weight wise and then health wise. So,
Okay.
next 30 to 45 days, 8 to 10 pounds, and then the ability to jog 1 mile without stopping.
Oh,
I'm doing my 10,000 steps. I'm drinking my water. I'm weighing
okay.
myself every morning, all that good
That's
stuff.
great.
I'm doing Noom.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I
it's the
think that's
work.
awesome. Have you read the book, The Naked Mind?
No.
The Naked Mind.
So let me do
Order,
that.
order that book.
So here's my
It's
notes.
about
This is script.com.
it's about alcohol.
What is it? The Naked Mind.
Yes, please get the book. Somebody told me on Facebook to get it. I
You
read
mentioned
it.
it on a post. Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to do the joy of being sober, and it was good, but it was not my vibe at all.
I
But
didn't read
still, it was
that.
good.
I didn't read that, but I've read The Naked Mind. And I like the book because I look at my journey right now, my break, as I decided for this for me because I want more for myself and I want to do more. And I just don't think the wine was benefiting me as much as I thought it was. I don't think it was. So that's why I'm on a break. Um I
And you feel great. We
I
talked
feel
about this
good. Yeah, I
before.
feel good. I mean,
Your
you know,
skin looks awesome. We were talking about that.
the what?
Your skin. Your
Yes,
skin
my
looks great.
skin. My
You're
skin's
probably
good.
sleeping better. You probably have more energy.
I do. It took some time though for that to happen. It's not an overnight quick fix.
Okay.
Today's 59 days, so
59. Let's go. Yeah, that's awesome. It's been fun watching your journey and inspiring. I am at day 7. You got to start somewhere. It's the same thing with sales, right? Like you got to start.
everybody starts at zero, Stacie.
That's right.
Let me know how you make out. It was great to talk with you. Fun episode today, Stacie. Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. I hope to see you in the flesh soon
Yes.
and
I'm going to
enjoy
stop
your
by
rest
your
of your.
house in Longport. You're going to see me. I'm just going to
Yes,
show up.
you can come by. I'll see you soon. Have a
Bye bye.
great one.